Welcome back. We are here past the prop. We're coming at you guys, recapping week 8. I think was it week 8 or week 7? I don't even know anymore. These weeks are flying together. But recapping our props. Obviously, got some Monday night football plays. Stu, what is good, my guy?
Yeah, nothing much. I mean, it's what we keep saying, for the last couple of weeks I've been, talking about how we got all this going on today. We got the sports equinox, everything going on at the same time, which means, the long shot parlays, we're going to see those all over Twitter, all that stuff. But hey, I'm in for any excuse you can have to make a couple extra bets. I'm cool with that. As long as we're betting responsibly, we're staying within our means. There's a lot of action tonight, so I think we can have some fun. I know we got some great bets for the show already, but we'll definitely toss in some long shot stuff at the end as well, because I know people are going to be hitting on that.
Yeah, sorry. I just had to go and drop Brian Robinson from my fantasy team for Leonard Fournette just got signed by the Bills 2 seconds ago. So
by 25%, best ball is alive, baby.
I know, bro. I have him in a lot.
Oh, my God. Dude,
I have him in a lot, too.
It was looking like all zeros. Oh, my God. To all the Leonard Fournette drafters, I know some guys in my Discord were there with me. We can finally rejoice because those zeros were tough in a lot of those zero RB lineups. And, hey, Latavius Murray looks like a corpse out there. James Cook, apparently they don't trust him that much. So let's go. Steal some touchdowns, Lenny. Catch some passes. We're back, baby. We're back.
You want to know the best part about all of this? The best part.
What?
That one lineup I told you that's got life. That's over 1,300 points already through this many weeks. That's been eating zeros on Lenny, baby. I still have him. He's sitting there at the bottom, baby. So I got him coming back into that lineup. Obviously, gonna be tough to make the lineup. When you're fighting with Jerome Ford, you're fighting with Jonathan Taylor, you're fighting with Moss, ETN. He's gonna have to eat, but like it.
Hey, guys, and this is why you play best ball, too. So on October 30th, you can celebrate a 33-year-old veteran RB being signed up for minimal touches. That's why you play best ball right there. We want to get fired up over the little things. So mini victory to some of us out here.
All right, Stu, let's get some recaps coming in here. Obviously, this one hurt. This hurt. This week was tough, bro. I think Desmond would have got there, bro. I'm in that his concussion really messed with him. I'm gonna still stay on my island. Obviously, it's a great spot to be when it goes well. But obviously, he got a concussion, and then they ruled him he was fine, but they kept Heineke in. Just fire Arthur Smith already, and let's get this on, man. I'm tired of watching Bijan do nothing. No catches, bro. Really? No catches? What is this? Tyler Heineke doesn't know how to check down either. That was really tough to watch. Yeah. This dude thinks he's fucking Superman trying to make a 6-yard run and get absolutely blown up in the process. I'm like, bro, you're going to play 4 snaps and be hurt immediately because you think you're going to go for – and you didn't even get the first, bro. Like, throw it away or just throw it to a wide-open Bijan and let him go do something instead of watching this man run all around like a chicken with his head cut off.
Yeah, as someone that watched that whole game, though, I mean, how could you even care? They were so boring in comparison to the other side of this story, which was, Will Levis, obviously kind of setting the world on fire. Like, I don't know if you were watching, like, I was big on Atlanta this week. Yep. I obviously lost on that side of it, but it's one of those things where you can't even be really that mad when this rookie, right, that's been on the bench, he's been hated on throughout the whole draft process, just comes out and throws bombs. I mean, bomb after bomb. Like, it was great. It was extremely entertaining. I hope Levis continues to kill it. I hope, obviously, this seems like the kind of team that would just start Ryan Tannehill next week randomly after this. I hope they don't do that because I want to see where the Levis train continues to roll after this week.
Hey, and you led me right into me cashing my dog, bro.
Yeah.
3 straight dogs now, dude. I don't even want to know what our numbers are right now on dogs a week combined. Because, I mean, I've been hitting them now. You didn't miss for quite a while. Like, dude, our dogs picks have been crazy hot. And money line, too, obviously, on the Titans spot there. But, hey, fade Arthur Smith. It sucks because I really wanted to fade the Chargers just because I think their coach is just a bum. But you can't fade him against the Bears, bro. It's like you don't know what to do on that. You have 2 fades. Who do you fade the most? And I'm like, oh, that's a stay away then.
Yeah, no, and I pushed mine. So yeah, one loss on the season with this push now. It was that the Buccaneers against the Lions was my one stand. But every other dog of the week is cash so far, except this one we got the push right here. But I'll take it. In the first half, I thought I was gonna get crushed. And then in the second half, I thought I got robbed. You know what I mean? The tempo completely flopped. The Browns, like we keep saying, it's the defense. They give them opportunities. They've given good field position. At the end of the day, I'll take a push because it was looking kind of ugly at first, but then it is what it is. We'll take it.
Is Pete Carroll like again? Just dude's like so dumb sometimes, bro. Did you see Kenneth Walker's line this week?
No, I was not watching that game.
Eight carries for 70 yards, and they didn't run him. Like you ran him 25 plus times last week, and you were winning for this game, and then you decided to let Geno just chuck against this defense. 2 picks, right? I mean, it's not a defense you want to just be in drop back situation. Like you're up 14 early. How are you not feeding this dude? This dude was he was chunk plays. I mean, he had a 40-yard run, but still 4 or 5 yards of carry on those other ones. Like I didn't understand that one at all. But let's get to our other plays here.
Yep, this one we got the job done right here. Christian Kirk over 21.5 longest reception. I mean, even with this game was disgusting. I mean, first half interceptions, back-to-back red zone turnovers for the Jaguars in the first half. It was just kind of a mess. Steelers somehow kind of steam back in at the end, and then Pickett gets hurt. Trubisky looks awful. Pickett comes back in. It was just a whole mess, but Christian Kirk obviously got the job done just like expected in that one. 29-yard catch. He's not even been close to his number. He's had like 28 or more in each of these games. So hopefully they don't adjust by next week.
Yeah, played him this week in fantasy. It was really nice because he didn't do anything else. Dude literally sucked the rest of the game. Literally did nothing. So good cash on that. Olave, bro, why are you making me sweat so much? My God, bro, just bombs on the field to Shaheed. Bombs down the field to fucking Michael Thomas. And then Olave is the one left out. Still ended up getting there. It's a cash, but I feel disgusting doing it. And I'm like, I guess the books might not be as stupid as I thought, giving me like minus 300 on this because my God, that almost just stole all my money.
Yeah, and too, we talked about the most receiving yards on the slate being a good long shot, and the thought process was there. Shaheed had 153 right next to him. It was just for whatever reason the wrong guy was getting the bombs this week, So shout out Derek Carr.
3 fucking catches. That's it. He only had 3 catches and had 153 yards. Crazy.
Shout out Derek Carr. That's what he does. He's throwing it up there. He doesn't care who's down there. He's not looking too close, not squinting, just letting it fly.
All right, then our last one here.
Oh, yeah, this one was tough. We pushed right here, 38 yards. Devonta Smith on the blown coverage. Or sorry, not pushed. We lost this bet. The number got hooked right there. Annoying. We had opportunities right here. A.J. Brown had a good game. One of those where you just wish you took the receiver or the passing yards at the end of the day. Great game script, but yeah, ended up, getting hooked right here, unfortunately.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ends up going there. Let's kind of talk about the slate a little bit in the breakdown portion now. What was your takeaway, man? There was a lot. There was a lot of stuff happening this week. What is your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, I guess off the top of my head right there, that 49ers Bengals game will probably jump off as one of the biggest stories of the week, with the Bengals looking very impressive. And I kind of felt the same way about 2 teams coming into this week, the Vikings and the Bengals. I thought they actually turned a corner, and I don't think people were giving them the respect they deserve for turning that corner. And I think it showed this week. Unfortunately, the Vikings lost their quarterback, so that doesn't matter. Turning the corner, they're going back around the corner now, right? But in this game, I think the Bengals kind of showed it right here. They whatever those early season struggles were, it's had to be tied to Burrow's direct health, right? And it seems like he's moving a little better. He's a little stronger out there, and this team's been impressive the last couple weeks, right? So off a bye week, they did exactly what you needed them to do. I think that's probably the biggest story of the week. And I think they've cemented themselves as legitimate contenders in the Super Bowl discussion once again.
Yeah, dude, 40 yards rushing. Obviously, I told you, I have been so heavily invested in year-long fantasy with Joe Burrow. I have him in 2 of my 3 bigger leagues. So it was nice to actually get some points because I've been just hemorrhaging points on quarterback play every single week because both of the big leagues I'm in are 6-point touchdowns for any touchdown. So you throw a passing touchdown on 6 points, and I was getting Burrow throwing like 5 of them through 5 weeks, and it was just it hurt. How about those Broncos, bro? That defense actually not that bad anymore. It's crazy, dude. I don't think I've ever seen this turnaround like this in my life. Obviously, I know this is a quick sample size. I'm not going crazy on it, but still, back-to-back weeks. Obviously, the Jordan Love one when they play the Packers, not as impressive, but I mean, you do it to Mahomes after they just shredded you 2 weeks ago. They just shredded them, and then I don't know what happened. They're starting to slow the game down a little bit and really make these drives long, right? I mean, they're using McLaughlin and Javonte 20+ carries, which I love to see. Obviously, very heavily invested in best ball at him. Finally feeding this guy the ball, fully healthy. I love it. Jerry Jeudy making plays, Cortland Sutton making plays on the outside. Maybe I don't have to hear about stupid Sean Payton anymore. I don't want to have to hear about that because, dude, Russ threw 3 touchdowns, 110 yards. That's it. Because all they did was just run the ball. They're able to get some push. And Javonte is a tough-ass dude, man. He's 3-4 yards a pop, ran the clock out, 5 turnovers forced by that defense. Obviously, Mahomes didn't look great, but still, I mean, you still have to stop them. Even if he was, people are going to say he was sick and stuff. Still, you still got to stop Mahomes. You still got to stop Kelsey. After he shredded him for 170? Only 60 in that game.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. And then not only that, but obviously they play in a high leverage matchup next week. So it's like, how do we rate the Chiefs after that? How do we move forward? But I agree. The Broncos, that was the surprise of the week. I'm with you. I'm Javonte. Finally, right? We're finally seeing that volume we want. We know how good this guy can be, not just on the ground, but through the air as well, right? It's kind of a dynamic weapon, a guy that maybe with the injury stuff, not a 3-down back, but we want to be at least as close to it as possible. So that was a weird one. Obviously, I'm not too worried about Mahomes. I think it's very hard to overreact too much to that game, but it was definitely interesting seeing the Broncos show up. I think all the guys realized that they're playing for free agency now. They're playing for trades. It looks like all of them are available except Surtain pretty much. So it's time to ball out. It's time to raise that trade value, do the best you can, and hopefully you end up on the Chiefs by the end of the year.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns, like I said, by Russ. And I mean, it was perfect if you use them in like DFS because it's super concentrated for them, right? And we're going to talk about that in this game. It's Sutton, it's Jeudy, and then it's the running backs. It's really not using any tight ends. Obviously, when you're throwing out Dulcich and Troutman, you don't have to worry about it too much. But pretty concentrated if you're wanting to go there, especially if they're going to be losing, right? You got the guys that you want. Mims hasn't really been involved. Target share is not even there. So, just a really compact team they definitely want to look at going forward. And now I might have to think about starting Jeudy a little bit now in fantasy while they're still rolling.
Yeah, the real question is how long is Jeudy going to be on this team for, right? Hey, if you're starting him this week, he might be a Panther, and suddenly you don't know if you love that as much anymore. So I agree, though. You definitely got to take advantage of these guys while it's hot right here. So yeah, I don't know. That was a fun one right there. I'm glad they actually gave us that turned out to be pretty much the most interesting game of the late slate, which was a huge surprise to me.
For sure. I just want to get one more thing in here before, because obviously these shows don't go as long with only one game. Thoughts on Kyler Murray coming back here?
I'm excited. I think would be a good buy low, or I think this whole trade time has been a good buy low opportunity, not just for like fantasy and stuff, but for like real life. Like as a Commanders fan, like I would kind of like Kyler Murray trade, especially if it looks so much like they were going to be the clear, number 1 pick. And now it looks like a Joshua Dobbs trade might be in order. A team like Minnesota, who just lost their quarterback and wants someone that's at least stable. Joshua Dobbs proved he was at least stable. So I'm not sure, obviously, what's going on over there, but I want to see Kyler back. I think watching quarterback play over the last year has made me realize that maybe we're being a little too harsh on Kyler, trying to compare him to that elite level, when all those guys that we thought were on that elite level haven't really been there over the last year as well, right? Seeing Justin Herbert regress, a lot of these other quarterbacks regress has kind of almost made me a little higher on Kyler Murray in the process. So I'm excited to see him come back. I think he's going to at least be a good fantasy player no matter what.
Yeah, you talking about Dobbs. I want to see Jameis go to Minnesota, bro. Imagine
They're
Minnesota
not
with,
letting him leave. He's stuck
bro.
in prison. He just
Let
has to
him
sit
go,
there.
bro. You want to see this man get unleashed? Throw him in another dome. Put him in a dome in Minnesota. Watch this man just cook. Oh my god, dude. Jay Jetta might come back and go for 2,000. This
I
man
was
might
gonna
go for
say,
2,000 after 6 games off. Like, actually, he will literally get 60% targets, 40% or 35% going to Hawkinson, and then 5% is going to be those one play a game where he just says, hey, fuck it, I'm throwing up to Addison down there 70 yards and we'll see what happens, right? So that's a match made in heaven. I'm telling you right now, if they can get him. I heard, I think I heard somewhere that was one of their guys they were looking at. It was Winston and somebody else. I can't remember off the top of my head when I was listening to the
Brissett
radio.
probably.
Brissett, that's who it was.
Yeah.
Yep, that was right.
Yeah.
Both those guys wouldn't be bad. It'd be probably really, really good for Hawkinson, especially Brissett, because he's very good at the tight end. He would probably get 11 targets a game. Shout out Evan Ingram, homie. 10 catches. Love it.
Yeah. I saw he was on both of our cards this week for the same reason we talked about in the show, attack over the middle. Glad we both cashed that right there. Hey, it's the benefit of listening. I know some of you guys skipped to the very end, we dropped some dimes as well. But yeah, the tight ends are definitely going to show. Brissett and Hawkinson would be crazy. That line would legitimately be like 7.5, 8.5 for receptions at that point. Because like you said, he loves the tight end. But honestly, Ron Rivera is coaching for his job right now. And I could still see him wanting to hold on to Jacoby Brissett just because he is that stability guy. And if you're coaching for your life, you want the veteran at times.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Guys, we will get to those questions here in a second. We're going to transition over right now, actually, to the game for tonight, Monday Night Football. Great game, actually. 46.5 total, 7-point spread, a little more juice going towards the Lions on that -7.5 at home tonight. Stu, 4 sides as always. Which one are you leaning to if you had to pick one?
Yeah, I mean, this is interesting when it opened at like 9, it was kind of in that range, obviously. And I was thinking Hoyer was going to start, but now Jimmy G is back from injury. And that is a huge deal. I think there is a big gap between the Hoyers and the Jimmy G's of the world that I don't think a lot of people respect. I know neither of them are great quarterbacks, right? But I do think like the mid quarterback to the slightly below average quarterback range is actually pretty close to each other. And that kind of quarterback range is very far from the trash bottom tier quarterback range. So I think going from that trash level to a guy that has not only been okay, but has actually upheld multiple fantasy starters across the season is what I'm looking for. So all that to say, I'm glad Jimmy G's back. I think that makes this a way better game, like borderline unbettable to now an exciting game. I like the over for that reason. I think they're very live on the back door. I think the Lions have shown that they can score points all season. The only thing I'm worried about, the Raiders are notorious now for these high safety looks with this new system. They're running them at the highest rate in the league so far. Their defense is so bad. Their strategy is essentially let's let them get into the red zone and hope that they fuck up. It's like the bend but don't break, but to an extreme, right? Because it's a one-man wrecking crew with Max Crosby in there. The only concern is if the game gets super slow, and they kind of, make it ugly and they're able to keep the Lions offense off the field. And then the Lions do that thing where instead of scoring quickly, they just run the ball 1,000 times. And we know that they couldn't do that. So I think it'll be a close one. But I think you'll be able to see very early which direction this game's going in. And I definitely think I'll be live betting accordingly.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit more towards the over for that reason. I don't think they're going to be able to run him, Gibbs, in that bell cow role. Yeah. I really don't, especially just watching last week. I don't know if you watched the game last week. Obviously, it was a blowout, so whatever. I just take that into consideration. But obviously, his line looked pretty good after the fact, right? When you look at his numbers after, he had 5 carries on a meaningless drive at the end of the game, right? So I think Gibbs' receptions are in there. I think rushing yards he's just so explosive that he can get those chunk plays on the ground. But I don't know if they're going to just say, hey, we're going to give you a David Montgomery treatment where we're going to give you 20 to 25 between the tackles, right? I think they're going to give him really good, impactful plays on the ground. But I don't know if I'm going to see them giving him 20 touches on just rushes, right? Like they would with Montgomery. That just destroys the clock, destroys overs. I think I lean a little bit more towards the over for that reason. I think we're saying the same thing, but I'm a little bit more leaning towards seeing Gibbs in like that 10 to 14 carries versus the 25 for Montgomery, probably 10 for Gibbs. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball that much. I truly don't.
Yeah, I disagree slightly. I think I agree with what you're saying, and I think that's like the logical way to go. But I think the problem is when you look at coaching tendencies, Dan Campbell has very consistently, no matter who's been the running back, right? No, whether it was Zaire Franklin, whether it was Craig Reynolds starting, I would still like their rushing attempts overs as well, because I know that this is a team that still consistently wants to run the ball on first down, especially, and on first down, early downs. They're an aggressive running team. They've never, in the Dan Campbell era as play caller, been a positive pass rate over expectation team, even in neutral situations right here. Now you account for the fact that they're likely ahead in this game. They're likely leading. They likely have the more positive game script. For me, I understand looking at Gibbs as a prospect, you don't really see that guy that's going to weather the storm. But earlier in the year, they did give him 18 carries for 60 or so yards. He wasn't necessarily as efficient as you'd hope for in that game, but you saw the carries were there. That 18 number is what I'm looking at. I think last week was clearly a subject of the blowout. You're right. He did get those 5 meaningless carries that boosted, the stat line. But I was Xing out that stat line no matter what from last week because you learned nothing. They were destroyed from the first quarter of that game. So there were no meaningful drives in that game. So I agree with what you're saying. But I honestly, I think I'm going with the coaching tendencies from the past. I think they use him as more of the bell cow rather than like the fantasy superstar pass catcher that everyone kind of hopes he is.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, the thing is we saw Montgomery's rush attempts in those games at like 18 and a half, right? 18, 19 and a half, with Gibbs having a 7.5 or 8.5 number two. But like the books are giving you Gibbs 15 and a half, and they don't even give you a Reynolds because I think that Reynolds probably gets like 5 to 6, right? That's what I'm saying. That's probably 4 or 5 minutes. That difference in there, right? Where you get the opportunities that maybe you get an extra drive, right? If I get an extra drive for the Raiders, that's huge, especially with how condensed this team is. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, I understand. And I mean, 16 carries is still a lot, but when I'm taking it, what I'm used to seeing from these guys where Goff's like 30 to 33 attempts and we're running the ball 35 plus times, I don't see the personnel to do it. Or else I might just lay a mega max cock lock on rush attempts for Jahmyr Gibbs at 15 and a half. I think it's like minus 135 to the over.
Yeah. Yeah, I see your perspective. I mean, I kind of think we're, relatively on the same page. You're more in that, slightly lower range. And I agree. I don't think you're going to get to that David Montgomery range, either right there as well. But being in that 16, 17 range with how explosive he is perfect for me. And I got 64.5 rush yards earlier in the week. That's my 1.5 unit play for this game, but it's up to 71 now. So the market's, clearly adjusted to that fact. But I think Gibbs is plenty involved, especially if they're ahead. But I agree the personnel isn't ideal, and that will save a lot of time because he's not going to be 25, 26 like David Montgomery can get up to.
Perfect. I think we're on the same spot there. And if I had to lean aside, I think I got to do Raiders at 7.5. I just like those. I like these teams that have, super condensed lineups. And also, the back door is always open on some of these games, right? On these games where they almost like don't care if you score, if they're up 14, right? They don't care, right? So I would definitely lean that side. That's a lot of points in a showdown game like this. So, Sue, we got some actually, let's just get our plays out and we'll get to the questions after. I'll kick it over to you to start us off with your first, with our only play here.
Sounds good. I got a little same game parlay right here over on FanDuel Sportsbook. It's Josh Reynolds and Michael Mayer to have 2 receptions each, minus 137 over on FanDuel. Got this one at minus 127 an hour ago, but a freaking line movement. But I didn't want to let that scare me off because stuff like that has in the past. And I understand the minus 137 isn't as a favorable line, right? It's not quite as sexy. You want to get that the low odds whenever possible. But at the end of the day, the reason I like this combination so much is because in my head, this play should be in the minus 180 minus 190, minus 200 range. So the fact that it's even available, I think, does present a lot of value for me. And when you look at Michael Mayer, he's obviously the trendier name. A lot of people are on him today, and I think that's for good reason. I like going to the 2 receptions, as we know, the trendy guy. There's normally good analysis behind that, but a lot of the time they do fall just short. I like having that little bumper from the public just to be a little separated right there, because to me, 2 feels like the absolute floor. We've now seen that in back-to-back games with the Brian Hoyer experience, but we're finally getting back to Jimmy G, and it's perfect timing because in the time that just since Jimmy G last started, Mayer's role has developed and developed and developed. Last time they started together, he was still in that 50% snaps range. Now he's fully taken over as the tight end number 1. Austin Hooper will be in there for, a couple snaps. It was like 10. He had about 8 routes run, something like that, but nothing too disruptive. Mayer has all the volume in the world. And when you look at it, this is a Lions side that's actually been pretty susceptible to the tight end position. A pretty strong defense overall, but the linebacker core especially isn't like the strongest in the world. It's a linebacker core that is a lot more proficient at rushing the passer. You see a lot of these guys, Anzalone, Campbell, the rookie, both kind of making their names in the sacks, right? But they're not the greatest in coverage in the world. I actually think Mayer has a really good game. I think this is a good opportunity to get the ladder right here because the numbers, they're adjusting a little bit due to the fact that he is a popular name on gambling Twitter, but I don't think they fully adjusted to the fact that he's gone to that elite level of usage and he finally has a quarterback that's shown willingness to throw him the ball and actually target over the middle of the field. So for me, I know it's a little popular. I know that can get a little bit ugly, but for me, 2 feels like the absolute floor, even if he has another bad game and misses for the rest of gambling Twitter, right? A 2 for 14 game still cashes us a ticket right here, which is why I'll play the juice right here. And we look at Josh Reynolds, a guy that we've loved. He was my first play of the season, longest reception. I know you're thinking, this is a guy that I've only ever heard you talk about for the longest reception. So why are you pivoting right here now to Josh Reynolds for receptions instead of the passing yards or something like that? I would say that's a great question. And while I like them both, I see the most value for the reason I said earlier. The way the Raiders defensively play football, they're going to have the safeties back. It's the bend but don't break. They're going to let you beat them over the middle. And when we look at what Josh Reynolds was really good at, for the first 5 weeks of the season, he actually led all wide receivers in first downs in football, right? Not just the wide receiver 3s, the Tyreek Hills. He's beaten everybody for that. And he still has one of the highest first down rates out of any wide receiver in the league. And it's shown consistently that Josh Reynolds is looking for him in big situations, on those 3rd and 10s, right? In those situations where they need to move the ball, where they need to, get the first down. And I see so many first down opportunities because of the reason I said before. I think we're going to see a lot of Gibbs early down rushing. And I'm not sure Gibbs is necessarily the best early down rusher in the world, which I think sets up plenty of 2nd and 8s. 3rd and 7s where we need to move the chains and where you need to find your reliable wide receiver. And I know a lot of people love Amon-Ra St. Brown. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown as well. I do think he draws the toughest matchup by far of any of the corners with Nate Hobbs returning from injury. He said earlier in the week he was going to suit up. He's still questionable on the injury report. I believe he's going to play. He is by far their best corner, not even remotely close. And he is by far his best in the slot. He plays the majority in the slot. I imagine he will pretty close to shadow Amon-Ra St. Brown in this game, who also went on the injury report with some illness stuff yesterday. I'm sure he'll be okay, but just another factor to look into. 2 absolute fluid performances. Like I said, Reynolds has hit this in every game so far this year. Mayer is finally trending into a full-time role. I would have this price in that minus 185 range, so I still think you're getting good value on FanDuel.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, and at this point, I don't even think Amon-Ra really cares who guards him anymore, dude. That dude is so fucking – his targets are just absurd. But obviously, can't just throw it to him every single play. I understand that. So, obviously, you need those peripheral guys. And 2 receptions is crazy, man.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Amon-Ra could have an awesome day. I'm fully fine with that. But we're asking for 2 here. You know what I mean? It's not getting greedy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be rolling my first 1.5 here of the show this year. I don't think I've played one on the show yet. So, dude, how do I not go? How do I not go to Jacoby Myers, bro? I truly do not understand how we don't go here. I bet him touchdown. I bet him pretty much every single time when Jimmy G is the quarterback. That's what I need, right? Because again, you can look at last week. Obviously, Devontae Adams had huge stuff. Obviously, they had Brian Hoyer. But come on now. It's humans making decisions, right? And that means when you're looking, it's Devontae Adams and it's Jacoby Myers 1 and 2. That is literally his first 2 looks every single time. Doesn't even matter, right? There's no other opportunities here where there's just looking at somebody else, right? It's always these 2 guys. And what if I was to tell you, have you ever watched Entourage, Stu? Have you ever watched that show? Oh God, Stu, man, we gotta culture you, my friend. Man, dude, damn. I was gonna. You're on mute. You're on mute.
I'm so dumb. I thought you muted me. I don't know why I got angry for a sec. I obviously muted me. That's my bad. I was gonna say I'm on season 4 of the league. I started watching that, so I'm making progress at least. Okay, we're making strides here. Just wanted to defend myself a little bit.
Okay, so we said that. All right, but I'm saying in Entourage, there's a guy who's like, would that interest you? And that's literally the only thing he says, right? Would I interest you in something here who's hit at 100% clip, right? 100%. You don't find that too much in any of these spots that we're finding here, where every single time the starting quarterback is in, Jacoby Myers has hit this number, right? He's only played 4 games with Jimmy G. 23% target share, 61 yards, right? That was that last game. 34.5% target share, 75 yards. 27%, 65. And then we had a 9 for 81, right? So these are every game. That is every single game that Jimmy G has been playing in, and he's been there every single time. So I can't get away from this number. I think they're going to be behind. I love Jimmy G throwing it from behind. I also love that I just saw Devontae Adams get absolutely peppered with targets last week, because guess what? I don't care. Jimmy G wasn't playing. But now everybody's going to look at that target sheet and be like, damn, I got to play Devontae Adams tonight. I got to play him in Showdown. I got to be as my captain. It's a completely different scenario here. Like, Josh Jacobs, Jacoby Myers, and Devontae Adams make up 71% of the target share on this team for the full season. And mind you, Jacoby Myers missed a game. He missed one of the games that he played, and his target share is still that high. When you're seeing a guy with a 37% target share, like, you're pushing Tyreek, bro. That's what his target share is with Jimmy G. And I don't care if Devontae has a huge game. I really don't. Like, I hope he has a great game. But Jacoby Myers is right there. He does the exact job he needs to do. He gets open, finds the slot, and just goes, right? And he gets the yards after the catch. I love this spot. I'll be playing. My entire Equinox is going to rely on Mr. Jacoby Myers. And, hey, no pressure. But let's roll this thing, baby. Play his touchdown, play everything. Plus 200 for a guy who's getting this much red zone targets is absolutely absurd, right? It's crazy. Even the last game, let's go to week 6. The last game that these two played together. Two red zone targets. 2 of them, right? And they barely passed the ball in that game against the Patriots there. So I don't know how I get away from this number. I don't know how I get away from Jacoby Myers in every single capacity. 71% target share with all those guys, but he missed a game, dude. This would be closer to 75-80 if he didn't miss. So I'm very excited. Thank you, Brian Hoyer, for making all of us forget about how much love I have for this man. Sign me up for some Jacoby Myers. This man is about to make us some bank tonight.
Yeah, I love Jacoby. I'm going to be betting him as well. I'm fully with you tonight. I mean, this is a guy that we backed a lot so far this season, and a lot of success, right? Well, the only show of the year where we both had pretty much the same guy in one of our bets earlier was Jacoby in a primetime game. And like you said, the market, it weirdly overreacts to a clear trend that has developed, which is when Jimmy G is the quarterback, Jacoby Meyer isn't the wide receiver 2. He's the 1B. This is a 1A, 1B situation when Jimmy G's at quarterback. And then when anyone else living, breathing is at quarterback, they go, oh, I'm obviously going to give Devontae Adams 40 targets a game. That's clearly the plan in this offense. But hey, we don't have all those other guys. We got Jimmy G in this game, and he's spreading the ball around. He's operating the offense at a respectable rate. And we didn't even really dive into the fact that you can't run on the line. Second fewest rush yards allowed so far this season. And that's a mix of some good running backs in there as well, right? No guys I saw surpass 67 rush yards so far this year. That's with some Kenneth Walkers in a shootout earlier this year as well. So definitely love Jacoby Myers tonight. I can't believe we're getting the discount on his line. We're going to keep on taking advantage of that if they're going to keep on letting us do it.
Yeah, and just to add on, obviously, I love the point about the running game. I have that written down, didn't even say it, but 2.9 yards per carry right now for Josh Jacobs. Like, they're not even running well on shit teams.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Now you're going to give them this? Come on now. Let's take that under at 35. Let's get that under 35 rushing yards. Give me that plus 500. Come on, baby.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you got a guy averaging 2.9 yards per carry going against a defense that's allowing 2.7 yards per carry. So it's not like this is a good bounce back spot or anything. A little peek behind the curtain. Jacobs' rush yards under was almost one of my props today. I still think I might get to in one way or another, but I don't know about you. Missing out on an opening line is killer. And it was 67.5 the other day. And it's 61 now, 60 in most spots. Missing 8 yards of value is, I don't like being late to the party. So that did kind of hurt me, but I'm glad we're on the same page right here.
You know what else is crazy is they have Josh Jacobs rushing attempts at 15.5.
Wow. Okay.
That's crazy to me. Because I don't think they're going to do anything with him, but I don't trust McDaniels to not be stupid. So it's I don't know. So it's that. I'm up in the air on that one because I just looked at it because I looked at Gibbs and saw his was 16.5 juice to the over. Pretty even on each side for heading over to obviously the Josh Jacobs side there. But man, so many good props tonight, man. So many good props.
No, I'm excited. Like I said, I think Jimmy G was the savior for this game at one, because you don't trust other quarterbacks to backdoor cover. But this is perfectly live, especially if, the Lions are in that part where they're playing prevent. We could see 100 rush or receiving yards and no one's shocked in this game. And I texted you this before the show, but my favorite part about having these concentrated offenses is that everyone can eat. Devontae Adams can have his 100 receiving yards and Jacoby Myers can have his 60. Because like you said, 71% of the targets are going between those two guys and Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, dude, it's wild, man. These are the games you want because even on the Lions side, right? I mean, there's maybe your Marvin Jones just left, right? He usually gets 1 to 2 targets. Those now probably going to Amon-Ra. They're probably going to Laporta. They're probably going to Reynolds. There isn't that many other guys there, right? Khalif Raymond was on the injury report. You might as well. This is literally a same game parlay heaven. This is really what it is. Yeah. Obviously, there's going to be one guy who fucks everybody over. So be okay with that. There's going to be one. You just got to keep one guy off there just so you hopefully guess the right one, because it's always like that. Because I know I'm going to go on Twitter tonight. I'm going to see some huge tickets. Bro, bad beat. This guy lost by 3 yards. Bro, I understand. But there's when these guys have that big of a target share, just go to the guys that are getting the ball, right? It's crazy. Let's check out the chat. We got a lot of you guys in here. We haven't got too much of the chat because we got to get these plays out for you. We got Kevin, first guy in the chat. We just talked about Gibbs season, Adam. Hopefully he does come through. We talked about Michael Mayer already. Got that. Shutdown defense here. Is this a spot for Max Crosby? Are you going to roll with him? I mean, this is a tough offensive line here for the Lions, which I feel like I would need plus money. I would need it. And you never really get them at plus money. So I would need it if I want to bet them in this spot against this line because they're going to be pushing towards.
Oh, yeah. We're way past Max Crosby at plus money anymore, right? It's just the name value, everything involved. But I agree with you. It's not necessarily a spot to attack because you are paying minus 130, minus 140 against one of the best offensive lines in football. But at the end of the day, am I going to sit up here and tell you not to bet it? No, because Max Crosby is a beast. The guy is responsible for the highest percentage of any player in the league in terms of their total percent of pressures and sacks, right? So he's a one-man wrecking crew. He truly does it himself. He's double teamed at an extremely high rate. He still gets the job done. He's going to have a tough matchup here, but I can't tell you he's not going to have a sack. I do believe he ends up with a sack. I just don't love the minus 130, the minus 140s of the world. If you can get it on a fantasy app, like Prize Picks or an Underdog, they normally do let you play a sack, and then you can kind of get a little value because you're not paying the vig.
Beautiful. We got Terrence back in the chat. Capper Taylor going here. Sniper talking about McDaniels maybe kicking that backdoor field goal in there as well. Shutdown talking about some more defensive prop. Took Hutchinson sack with Lions win plus 125. Thoughts? I wonder what is Hutchinson just straight sack? I have no idea. Don't really bet too many props here. I'm just curious if that's like actually like positively, there's positive on that because I wonder what it is just straight. Obviously I think the Lions win, but bro, we just saw the Chiefs lose as like a 9-point favorite. So it's like I get scared when because you're just throwing the money line in there. You're just throwing it in there, right? So if this is plus money on its own, you know what I mean? Like I would rather just play that because these big favorites, dude, lose all the time.
Yeah, it was one of those things too. I don't even know if you're getting any value. Like you're probably getting like even money on the Hutchinson side. I don't even think you're getting 25 cents for Lions money line in a lot of parlays. Maybe I'm not sure exactly, but I kind of agree. I think the Lions do win. So overall, I don't actually have too many problems with it. But yeah, Max got juice at minus 150. That makes sense. He's in that up and coming category where he probably shouldn't be plus money anymore. And the Raiders on the other side don't have a great offensive line. So I think that's a good buy spot as well.
Yep. Perfect. I'm kind of getting nervous. Everybody liking that Jacoby touchdown, bro. Maybe he's going to go for like 200 and not get a touchdown now. Fuck. Love Jacoby plus 210 at the touchdown there. Capper Taylor talking about that one as well. What is your thoughts on this one here? Each team to score a touchdown in each half, plus 136. I don't hate it. I just know that Raiders are notoriously slow starters, like a lot.
Yeah.
And McDaniels will kick on like a fourth.
That's what I was getting to. Slow start is one thing. They're notoriously pussies is the other thing, right? I mean, come on. How many, 4th and 2s do we kick field goals on? That's what I'm more worried about right here. The only problem, they have a killer kicker, but they haven't actually been using him as much recently, which is a little weird. But I like it, but I kind of agree with you. It's just these props are always so weird to me. I don't know the data. There's never as much for them. I would lean the over, but I agree. I'm kind of iffy on it.
Shutdown throwing in another one here is reception parlay. Mayer 2, Gibbs 3, Jacobs 4, Jacoby 5. Why is Jacoby only 5, bro? Jacoby should be 8. Get this thing up to like 20,000 to 1, bro. Just give him an 8. Jacoby going crazy.
Like, to be honest, man, I'm flipping the Gibbs for Reynolds easy right there. I my hot take is I don't like the Gibbs receiving today.
Yeah, no, why would you use him in the passing game if you're going to be running him 17 times? Yeah.
Yeah, like I think he'll be used a bit. It's still part of his skill set. But if you're not going to be trailing, there aren't going to be those, like what do you call it? The 2-minute drill snaps. Those like, we need to score a touchdown before the half. So, see, straight sniper speaking my language a little bit right there. The Mayer 25 yards in each half. That sounds kind of nice to me, honestly. That at 1,400, you're asking for essentially a little more than 50 yards split up by the half. I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, I'm curious what is just like 40 yards and 50 yards are just straight on their own. Because those ones are
5 receptions is plus 390. That's a play for me. Like that's easily a play for me. I mean, he's running 90% of snaps. I know the guy's popular on Twitter. I know that's annoying to see, but when you look behind that, the opportunity is there. So I'm interested in it. But I still agree. Jacoby's the guy. And
I'm not touching Meyer at all today because I can't be so much invested in this offense because I'm going to be like, throw it to Jacoby. Oh, I'm okay with Meyer. Oh, okay. Throw it to Jacoby. Oh, I needed Adams too, so throw it to him too. I'm like, dude, I can't. Hey, I'm sitting here, later 20s, right? 27. I ain't trying to get gray hair yet, homie. I ain't trying to do that. In this game, if I did that, would do that to me. When I just I just unload on every single pass catcher, bro. So, just saying. I'm trying to keep this non-gray rolling, and that's what we're trying to do. So, Stu,
I can't get mad at you for that. It's very valid. Very valid.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Dude, I tail every one of your picks, but in the same game, I'm like, how much money can I realistically put into this game when I'm already this fucking far? I'm so far in. I don't know if you guys want to hear my thing I said to Stu, which is why I put up the link late. So I sent Stu a text this morning when he sends me his pick, right? I'm like, sorry, man, I didn't make the link yet. I'm behind. I'm at the hospital getting my kidney removed to go bet it all on Jacoby Myers tonight. That's literally, quote, quote for quote that I sent to Stu this morning. And he would be my guy today. I'd be like, I'll remove a kidney for you. I'll sell it on the black market. And then I'm going to be out there betting it all on Jacoby Myers because he's a dog. He wants to make us money. He's a guy here. And don't forget, we saw so much NBA stuff too tonight, dude. Oh my God, this Equinox is gonna kill me. Oh man. So Stu, let's recap here. Everybody just posted all long shots in there. We'll get to them here. Stu, let's get our recap in here, and if you want to throw a long shot, we can do it.
Yeah, okay. We got Josh Reynolds and Michael Meyer, 2 receptions each, minus 134. It did move moved to minus 134 again, which is good. I got it at minus 127, so hopefully it keeps edging back in that area, but it's good that still playable range by the end of the show, because sometimes that doesn't happen, and I feel like shit when not everyone can get it, but we should all be good still.
Good, and I'll be rolling with my 1.5 units on Jacoby Myers, over 59.5 receiving yards. Stu, you wanna throw one together? Do you wanna do your own, or you want to throw one together here?
Well, I'm down to throw one together because, when I'm looking, I have a couple long shots tonight. Obviously ran that ladder, but I don't want to go with that for the show. But I was looking at, I have in my bet slip right now, I have a Myers 80, Josh Reynolds 50, and that pays out plus 550. You know what I mean? That's kind of the range I'm in. But you already like Myers, and I know you can't possibly bet more than you already have on him right now. So if you want to mix it up a little bit, but I mean, Josh Reynolds ladders have not failed me so far this season. I'm not getting aggressive up to 100, but, get that 50, 60 for plus money is always nice. You already know I'm running the Jacoby Myers ladder. And then the sneaky thing I will run, I'll just mention this on the show because not everyone can get it. But if you are in one of these books where you can bet the alternate longest receptions, the Bet 365, you should play that for Jamison Williams tonight. We haven't mentioned him much. Gadget player. He's only being used down the field. I saw a guy on Twitter play him for 25 yards earlier today at minus 125. And to me, I could never play this guy at minus money at a number like that. One, when I just play him at 26.5 minus 110, or I'd play longest reception 14.5. There's never a time I'm playing juice for Jamison Williams. Watch the guy play. Google Jamison Williams snaps. They're 60-yard bombs down the field. You don't want to, be depending on multiple of those. So for me, I like that longest reception ladder. If you have an option to play that, I would definitely do that. Or just hit the 50 yards, hit the 60 yards with a couple bucks and keep it moving. But I just said a lot of stuff. I'm sorry right there. Do you want to combine them or do you want to go separate? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm fine, dude. I'm rolling. I'll go Jacoby. Let's go. What is yours? What are you rolling with?
Well, right now, I got it up on FanDuel. I haven't line shopped it with DraftKings, so it might be better. But I got Myers 80, Reynolds 50, and Gibbs touchdown at 950.
You already have Reynolds in there, or you already got Myers in there.
You can just do your separate Myers one. We can run separate.
Yeah, sure. We can do that. We can do that. Interesting. I'm playing around on here and just looking at all these ones that they don't have up on FanDuel that they do have up on DraftKings. Those always, sketch me out a little bit, Yeah. I don't think Amon-Ra's sitting, right? I mean, you're pretty. I think he's playing. In my opinion, I think he's playing, but
I think so. He's just a hard guy to bet on for me in this game. I love Amon-Ra. We bet on him a ton, but yeah, I don't know. And they said who benefits the most, it's still probably Laporta and Reynolds are the guys that really benefit.
Yeah, maybe I'll throw a Laporta Myers reception spot. You can grab Laporta at 6, and I'm going to throw Myers at 7. And I mean, we'll get 8-1, bro.
Yeah,
8-1 on that. Where Laporta, dude, he's getting peppered already, right? And I agree with you on that. Gibbs not getting that many receptions. I agree with you. So those shorter ones are going to go to him, in my opinion. That's who I think is going to get them. Hopefully a little bit shorter to the spot there. I love that you talked about Amon-Ra's matchup, even if he does play. Because, I mean, the dude's so reliable for 6 for 60, 7 for 60, whatever it is. But there's so many passes going around here from Goff. You mentioned Williams. He's probably getting, max 2 targets, right? And they're both way down the field. So, there's a lot to go around, especially if I don't think Gibbs gets it, right? I mean, even if Amon-Ra's limited in any capacity, I think Laporta is the one that I'd rather go to because we've seen it already, right? We've seen it. And I always love playing Jared Goff spots at home as well. So I'll go there. I'll go plus 800 on Laporta, 6 catches, and Myers, 7.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I'm glad it's rare. We are rarely like this in sync on the same page. You know what I mean on these kind of players, but we like a lot of the same guys. This is a great way to attack it. For me, the only tough part about Laporta was like, which way do you do it? Because surprisingly enough, they're like
He's very good yak. Very good.
Yeah,
yak.
he's got some good yak. He's got 2, I believe, deep ball bombs on play action plays this year. Like, you don't see that very often as well. But I think you're completely right. We're on the same page. I think he gets those little short receptions, which is the key for stacking it up right here as well. So I love this combo right here.
Yep. And our guy Terrence coming up with Myers 80, Reynolds 50 with Gibbs plus 1100 on DK right now for him. So yeah, we're ready to roll.
That's what I'm rolling up right there. I like that. Yeah, it's what 952 on FanDuel. I just pulled it together. So better price. That'll be what I'm rolling with. You guys have heard the little rant before. We got a couple different long shots today, but like that, combine it all together right here for the little squad parlay. Definitely loving today's game. Could be sneaky, very good for props.
Please, I hope. Well, this is my final thing here. I'll let you do your final thing. Please, Dan Campbell, throw this ball around, homie. Give him some rushes. But I don't want to see 30 rush attempts in this game. I want to see Jared Goff go crazy. Then I want to see Jimmy G go crazy, throw a pick 6, get the ball right back, go that Jameis Winston route, baby. Please, Minnesota Vikings, sign Jameis Winston. I'm telling you. I want TJ Hawkinson to be he's going to be so good. Dude, he'll be pushing Kelsey, bro. I'm serious. This man is going to get 20 targets a game, whether I'm doing the short routes with Jacoby Brissett or I'm getting 40-yard bombs from freaking – he doesn't care who it is. He'll throw a lineman a pass 40-yard down the field if he's open. So I love it. I love it. So, Stu, what do you got for people before we head up?
Yeah, no, I second that one. Obviously, as a Jordan Addison fantasy owner as well, I was counting my money halfway through that game. I'm like, this guy's a star. This is awesome. And then quarterback gets injured, Jared Hall. I don't know if he can complete a forward pass. So I agree. We need to get Jameis their stat. Love that action. But yeah, good slate of games today. You mentioned, obviously, it's not just NFL. There's going to be NBA plays. You'll probably have a little bit more than I will. But luckily for me, I got a great Discord of people. These guys carry the load. They're doing all the hard work in there. I got a couple NBA plays. We've been doing pretty well so far, but most part, I'm just sitting back, staying locked in on the NFL. But yeah, make sure to follow over on Twitter to get all of our plays. I know your Telegram will have some NBA stuff, so maybe even MLB. For me, my Discord will have all that. So a lot of stuff to look out for right here. Super excited to keep it moving. And yeah, hopefully cash some bets tonight. I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't like betting on World Series, man. I just like watching.
I don't think so.
I really just like as just a baseball fan. I'm like, I don't want to be mad at this type of game. Like I don't want to be like, damn, I lost, because like it's such a good game. It's such a fun series, right? You just don't get them like this very often, where you don't have those huge juggernaut teams in there. So I'm not betting on any of the World Series. I did just post my favorite NBA play about 30 minutes before the show. Right on this channel, so 2 clicks away and you guys can check it out. But yeah, I'm ready to roll. Obviously a huge slate, and happy sports equinox to all of you guys. Hit that like button, subscribe button. 40 of you guys with us, 53 minutes in. That is showing love. We appreciate you guys. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Put that notification bell on. We'll be going live Wednesday, I believe, with some NBA action for you guys. That was the vote from our last show. So we'll be coming at you guys with some NBA on Wednesday, because who the hell wants to bet on a Tennessee game? And I don't even know who they're playing. Aren't they? Dude, they're playing Pittsburgh, bro.
That's an awesome game.
We ain't going to have props for it, because they're going to say, awesome oh, man, Pickett, he's out. He might find a way to be questionable on Wednesday, because every single Thursday game, we get some injuries because we can never just get it through 1 week without injuries to do it there. So maybe we'll talk some NFL, but obviously going to have a full NBA slate on that day. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hit that like button again on the way out, and we'll see you Wednesday.